So now we're going to talk about the commuting times. How long it's going to take you to drive from one place to another place. Let's take Washington, D.C. as an example. And if you're going to drive, let's say from Clarksburg to Washington, D.C., if you know that from the Beltway to Clarksburg is exit number 18, which is 18 miles, you're going to add possibly another 9-10 miles to get to Washington, D.C. So that's about 28 miles from here to there. Under normal conditions, should take you between 30 to 40 minutes to drive there, but there is not that many normal conditions in this area because there's a lot of people. So count to drive between 45 minutes and sometimes 1 hour, and sometimes even worse. If you go in there during rush hour traffic, it could take you an hour and a half to go from Clarksburg to Washington, D.C. The same thing. Just understand that most people work in Washington, D.C. or in this area. So you're going to have rush hour traffic coming all the way from Frederick, coming to Washington, D.C. in the mornings, going to work. At the same token, in the afternoon, in the evening time, when people leaving work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the rush hour traffic is going to go from south to north. So you can basically make your plans around those areas. You don't want to get onto 70 between 7 and 9 a.m. or between 4 and 6 p.m. because you're always going to see it the bad times to be driving. If you want to drive, let's say from Gettysburg all the way to Baltimore, let's say you're taking the airport over there. And by the way, we have 3 airports in this area. We got the Baltimore airport here, we got the Reagan airport in Washington, D.C., and we have the Dulles airport over here, which is in Virginia. So if you're driving from Gettysburg all the way to Baltimore, you're gonna take 200. This is a toll road, so that's very clean, very easy to drive. But once you get to 95, you're gonna always encounter some traffic there as well. So you can count driving from Gettysburg all the way to Baltimore in about 1 hour. The best way to get to Washington, D.C. actually is going in the metro. The metro starts right in Rockville. So if you can think of the metro being like a spider legs, and one of the legs goes all the way to Rockville, you can go on that rail all the way to Washington, D.C., and from there you can take any other legs to go anywhere around Virginia, Alexandria, or wherever you want to go. So if you're going to work to Washington, D.C. from Montgomery County, you want to drive or take the bus and come to Shady Grove metro station, which is in Rockville, and from there to Washington, D.C. in the metro, it's going to take you about 35-40 minutes, depending, how often the trains are coming at that time. Most of the time, they're continuously going to Washington, D.C., and at the same token coming back from Washington, D.C. towards Rockville. There is a big, huge parking lot over here where you can park your car, and you can take the metro every single day to go to work in Washington, D.C. Now, if you want to take a drive between city to city in Montgomery County, it all involves 270. If you want to go from North Bethesda to Clarksburg, or from Clarksburg to North Bethesda, depending what time of the day you're going, but if that's 18 miles, that should take you about 30 minutes to go, 20 minutes to 30 minutes to get there from one place to another. So these are the commuting times that you're going to encounter when you move to Montgomery County.